Well, of the economists we talked with today, 201, they were positive on our economic outlook, but with one single similar caveat. Our economy should continue to grow if Washington lawmakers will just stay out of the way. Infighting in our nation's capital has not only sent lawmakers' job approval ratings to record lows, it's also costing jobs. According to a study conducted for the nonpartisan Peterson Foundation, in 2013 alone, political uncertainty cut GDP growth by 0.3% and pushed the unemployment rate up more than a half a point higher than it would have been with more effective government. That happens because troubling news out of Washington tends to push stock prices down and interest rates up, and according to the study, undermining wealth and raising private borrowing costs. So consumers and businesses spend and invest less as a result, and that equates to about 900,000 lost jobs in 2013 thanks to the partisan infighting, something Ari Fleischer is well aware of.
All of Iraq.
As the former White House press secretary for U.S. President George W. Bush, Fleischer has seen his share of budget bickering and political standoffs, a brinksmanship many believe has made our nation's capital dysfunctional. I sat down with the former press secretary and current communications consultant to talk about whether our federal government can be fixed. Now, working on the inside of a presidential administration, are you sometimes struck that when bad things happen, the limits of even the most powerful office in the world has?
Well, what really you learn after you spend time in Washington, and I spent 21 years there, is under our constitutional system, the framers meant it when they say we're a system of checks and balances. The president does not have universal authority, and that's a healthy, good thing, because what it forces you to do is take problems into the public eye. And if something's not going right, if there's something difficult that you need to overcome, under our system, you've got to make it a public issue. You've got to go to the country. You've got to go to the public. And hopefully then the public puts pressure on Congress, the House, and the Senate so they agree with the president. You know, for all the flaws, for all the difficulties, for all the slowness and the fighting that creates, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's how you create consensus in our country. The absence of that would be a monarchy. The absence of that would be a dictatorship. And that's just not how our country is built.
Now, you said the word consensus. You know, since you've left politics, or at least being on the inside of politics, it seems like, at least on the federal level, consensus has been hard to come to.
Well, and even when I was there, consensus was hard to come to. I think there's been a real breakdown in that, basically since Vietnam and Watergate. I still will argue that those were the two signature events that changed the government's relationship to the public. And ever since then, the press has been more cynical as opposed to skeptical. The country has been more vigilant about making sure the government was doing the things that they wanted them to do. And then the advent of modern communications with Twitter and with cable TV has really created a polarization that's instant. Before, you used to be able to say something, people might reflect on it, think about it for at least a few hours, and then it would get reported on the evening news with Dan Rather that night. Now everything is instant analysis, and it's pretty vigorous. That's led to a fraying as well. But what's also led to is a real demand from the American people for somebody who can finally rise above. Someone who just through the power of principle and persuasion can unite people and carve out what's arguably the center of this country. I'd call it, in between the 20s on a football field. And if you can do that, this country wants it, and they want it so badly. So I'm an optimist about it. We just have to hope the right person emerges and who's got that ability, because you hear it from the public. The public is sick of the fighting. The factions, the bases in each party, are the ones who are really pushing for the fights in many cases. But there's a larger center out there that I still think can be put together.
What would you say to those who would say that it takes both sides to be able to compromise, to be able to get something accomplished?
Well, our nation was built on compromise. The only reason the nation's capital is in Washington, D.C. is because the northern states and the southern states wouldn't form a constitution unless they could agree where to put the capital. The only reason we have a Senate is because of compromise. The smaller states wouldn't agree to create a government unless they had something to counterbalance the more populous states, hence the Senate. And we've always been that type of country. What's happening now, though, is that the issues, principally the debt, are so massive and so big. Many people have come to Washington saying the old compromises will no longer work. That you scratch my back, I scratch yours is exactly what's gotten into this mess in the first place. And this is why compromises mean I'll spend here and you spend there and we'll call it a day. We're in an era of big issues, and that's one of the reasons there's strain on the system. It's kind of like a family. You know, if a family gets so deep in debt that finally they have to say, we need to sell a car. We need to give something up. You're not going to be able to do the things that we had talked about doing. Something's got to give. That creates strain, creates pressure. Nobody wants to give things up. We're in an era now that if we don't figure out how to do that, our children, our grandchildren are going to have a much harder time being successful. And no generation wants to leave the next generation worse off. I think that's why you have a stressed system right now.
Yeah. Final question. You said you are an optimist. What are some of the things you're the most optimistic about?
You know, I just don't know how anybody can look at the history of our country and the things that we've had to go through and not be optimistic. We always figure it out in the end. And we're a noisy democracy. We can be a slow and sometimes an incompetent democracy. But at the end of the day, this country gets it right. And we're just going through one of those phases now, which is a multi-year phase, unfortunately, where the fights and the rancor is bigger than the ability to agree. But for most of my time in Washington, that was not the case, and it doesn't have to be the case. You know, even George W. Bush, when he was extraordinarily unpopular, he was able to reach agreements with Democrats in Congress. They were able to reach agreements with George W. Bush. And you know, I think times pass, and you know, I always think that one of the great strengths of a chief executive, whether they're a Democrat or Republican, is that they have had experience as a governor or they've had experience running organizations. That's another business lesson. And I think that's, when you have that, the system does tend to work and work a lot better.
Mr. Fleischer, thank you for your insights.
Thank you.